You're all by yourself, Sean.
No, I think I saw some, I think I saw Tammy, but I'm not sure.
All right, it's 7 o'clock, we're good?
Yeah.
So I'd like to call our regular council meeting of June 23rd to order. We respectfully acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional territory of the Quagga people. Yeah, that's all.
Yes, I guess.
I'd like to have a late agenda item added to under business arising with the recommendation to work with the North Island Soccer Association to support the mini pitch project and to find alternative private property locations for the mini pitch. Moved by Councilor Tidbury, seconded by Councilor Texel. All in favor? Great, thank you. We have our minutes of the regular council meeting held June 9th, 2026. Any errors or omissions?
No.
Councilor Dugas?
No, we just make
Moved
a
by
motion.
Councilor Dugas?
Yeah.
Second by Councilor Tidbury. All in favor? Carried. Delegations, under business arising, we have our council action committee report, June 9th for information. Any comments? Excuse me. We have from Triport Minor Baseball, Trish Fossum regarding the Toronto Blue Jays Field of Dreams grant opportunity for discussion.
Just a question, you did have a meeting about it? with
Well, we
Trish?
had a meeting
Yeah.
with Trish,
Mhm.
not specifically about the Toronto Blue Jays Field of Dreams grant opportunity. And as she was a delegate at the last council meetings,
Mhm.
we said we would discuss this grant opportunity and whether we go forward or not. Yes, Councilor
And
Doyle.
one thing that Trish brought up at the last meeting was that she was gonna have a meeting with ops or someone like that to find out about the condition of the field and what was possible. There was some meeting about the field condition itself that was going to take place.
Mhm.
We had a meeting on the 5th of June,
So it was before the last meeting?
yes.
So I think she was getting at a few different things. She came as a delegation to talk about the Field of Dreams grant,
Mhm.
and then she got off topic a couple of times.
Okay,
So there is being an assessment being done on the field to look at it, but that would be, it's separate from this Field of Dreams grant.
So a few things. One, the grant I'm understand now is a 50-50 grant. So I'm just, we need to know what our 50% will look like and whether it can be done in kind. Just how that 50% looks like and what the timelines are. And I don't know the answer to either of those questions.
Neither do I, that's why I'm looking for you to tell me what you want me to do.
Well, I mean, the first thing would be to just find out the logistics and, if it's even worth entertaining. If it's too expensive or the timelines are silly, then we can't. But if those are in the ballpark, then perhaps we can. So
Good one. It's
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Dad joke, Father's Day.
I mean, this to me comes down to a simple matter of money, of course. Like, we would love to upgrade the field. But we need to know how much it will be, and then do we have that funding, and what's the timeline on this application? I remember going to this website and it really didn't have much information on it because it had been closed and it didn't show like the new parameters. But absolutely, like, of course, we would love to have an amazing field. But we need more information, I
I
guess.
mean, if our contribution is, okay, a ball field, okay, well, we have a ball field
Yeah.
that could do with some rehabilitation. So if it's $1 million, then I guess we need to think about that a little bit more. And I don't know if either of those statements are anywhere close to the.
I know when I went on, and I'm sure everybody's gone on to the website and had a look at it, but the other grants, the application was due sometime in September.
Mhm.
And so that's where I'm thinking this application will be due sometime in September, whatever the date is. And it doesn't specifically say for any of the other communities that are being awarded, if it was 50-50 or quite what it was.
Well, I thought
In the
Heather said it was.
top bar, it says 50-50, and that's the drop down. And then that's where it has the grant information in there, is in the 50-50 heading.
Oh, okay, I didn't even look at that drop down one.
So I mean, before we can even make a reasonable decision, I think we just need a little bit more information.
But
I'm thinking once, our park supervisor has an opportunity to have the proponent that she awards the vote to have an assessment done on the field, we'll have a better idea about the field too.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, fair, and I think that's reasonable to have done one way or the other. It's just that, you know, we don't. I mean, I think it'd be great if it happened, but we don't know what the commitment on our part is.
I think the other thing that we have to consider as well is this is an election year. And so the grant application is going to be coming in at a time when our staff is going to be super busy organizing and getting ready for the elections.
I would be sympathetic to that. I am sympathetic to that. I just, before we get there, I just wouldn't mind having a little bit more information.
Yes. Happy to do this.
or just to make note that when she was talking to us, there was some confusion there, obviously. But, I sort of got out of it that, because we mentioned that at the time about, resources and staff and how much time and the short amount of time to get this grant in, that they said that they would do the grant. They would write it all out or whatever, but they needed the costs. And then we would have to provide the costs for that, so they could fill out the paperwork, because you need all that information to finish the grant application. So I guess what she would be waiting for would be, okay, so what field and how much, kind of a thing, and that right now, I don't even know if we've established that yet, have we?
No.
And if I could, I'll just talk briefly to the assessment. So the assessment that Courtney and I have, that we're engaging in, is to get somebody to come and tell us, A, is the field suitable for its current use? What is the bare minimum we need to do?
Which field, the park drive?
Park drive.
Okay, that's one.
What is the bare minimum we need to do in order to maintain the field at its current operation? What are some things we could do to improve the field, and what's kind of the longer term things so that we have a budgetary number that we can come back to council on?
Yeah.
And if we have the commitment of somebody who's going to be in there long term, then council can start looking at what those options definitely look like.
Yeah.
Similar to how we dealt with the ball fields at Story Speech. So
Yeah.
we did an assessment. We have the $12 million assessment that says these are the things you do for $12 million. And then we have the things you could do now and in the short term in order to bring them up. And so we've been focusing on those over the past 8 years.
So sorry, we're waiting for that assessment?
Yeah, so, but we're not doing as big of an assessment as we did with the Benny stuff, because we don't need them to give us a dream. That was a
No.
kind of a dream assessment. We just need them to tell us what we need to do in order to basically keep it going. And if it's even suitable to keep going, and then tell us what other things we could do on top of that.
Okay, and they are the Port Hardy Minor Baseball Association?
No, so we're gonna get somebody to come in who does ball fields.
A consultant,
A
like, okay.
Not like a $60,000 review,
What kind of budget numbers have we got? We're thinking to get somebody in to do this.
it's something under 10 at this point, just to give us the bare bones of what we need.
Do you have a timeline when they're going to be doing it?
So Courtney's working on the RFQ right now to get it up and ready to go, and we're hoping that fall we'll have answers, so that we bring that forward.
Is that gonna give enough time for them to put this application in if it has to be in September?
It may or may not, it really just depends on how much we can get done between now and
So we may not get this
then.
in time. Okay.
That's a
So just when Heather pointed out that this grant is under the 50-50 heading on the Blue Jays page, I just did a little more digging in it just now. And it says you can only buy tickets in Ontario, Nova Scotia, Alberta, New Brunswick. And then it says.
Yeah.
who gets it? All proceeds from ticket sales sold in each respective province will be directly invested in supporting kids in Jay's care programming across that province. So I don't, it's not perfectly clear if it's the grant funding too, but when you also look at right on that direct link that was provided in the last agenda, there was one in Summerland, the rest were in those 4 provinces.
Mhm.
Well, one was in Arctic Bay, Nunavut.
Okay, yeah, but a couple other, but like,
Yeah,
yes, I feel like we need a bit more information.
Hmm.
Cause it almost looks like it might not even be possible. But
yeah, so.
we definitely need more information.
We
about
definitely need more information.
Let's say it's closed too.
Well, that's for 2025.
Yeah.
So the next one will open in 2020, in
Well, it says
September.
the
Yeah.
2026 application cycle.
Could staff?
Does it say that?
The 2026?
I might be on the wrong website, but it too.
That says it's close.
Well, yeah, that's interesting.
There's always next year though, right? But maybe could staff find out more about the,
Well, it says congratulations to our 2026 Field of Dreams recipients.
So that would be from 2025
Okay,
applicants.
Could be, yeah.
I think two,
So you're probably applying for 2027 for the funding if we were
Yeah.
applying.
Yeah.
next year.
yeah,
Yeah.
which would make better sense budgetarily as well, because
If you-
surely it's not 100%.
If we get the
Nothing's
grant
ever free.
application in on time. If there's a closing date. The closing date.
it's not open yet.
Get some more information for sure.
A phone call.
They don't have a phone number.
They don't.
They have to email or,
Text.
so I'm thinking if we can get some more information, wait for the assessment. But as well, if it's a fairly significant financial buy-in from the district to do it, we might have to wait a year to be able to put the application in.
Cause it's a budget item.
It's a budget item and it might have to go to the finance committee. That's my-
It will go to the finance.
It will go, yeah.
I mean, one of the things that might be possible is to call some of these cities. Or pick some recipient from the 2026 and just call them and find out what their commitment is
Mhm.
in terms of cash in kind.
Right,
And it gives a list of the
of the recipient.
recipients in the press room.
So could we have a recommendation to ask staff to look into finding a bit more information about, moved by Counselor Robertson,
Well, something.
seconded by Counselor Texwell? And
Further,
further,
could we refer it to the Parks and Rec?
and refer to the Parks and Rec for discussion.
Like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
it
and-
needs more discussion.
yeah, and actually, that's a good point. And I don't think we're meeting again until the fall, September, so that might actually work out somewhat. With some more information and a referral.
Yeah, if you want it to all come back as one, but if you want it to come back as piecemeal, we could come back with a report. And then we could, with regards to the grant funding and figure out all of that, those pieces. And then we can come back to a Parks and Rec with budget.
Yeah, I was thinking even less coming back to the Parks and Rec group with not so much even a report, just a little bit more information, sort of thing. So that we can make a decision about referral to council and something.
Cause I think we're gonna have to look at this with a few lenses, like
Yeah.
say the bare minimum, but also. What we're gonna do if we do get the grant and what we're gonna do if we don't get the
Yeah.
grant,
Oh, yeah.
as in
Which is
that picture,
budgeted
right?
too.
Because even if we're eligible for the grant, we get it in, doesn't mean. Yeah, that's so.
So I might be a little bit confused. So is it all going back to the Parks and Rec first, or is some of it coming here first? And then, or doing it piecemeal, or is it all to Parks and Rec?
Well, the information will come to Parks and Rec and then from there on to council.
Okay, so all of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I'm fine
That
with
makes
that. I
sense.
just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure I was, I thought if I was confused, others might be confused.
I just think it requires substantially more discussion, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, from lots of different angles.
And everybody's okay with the timeline of that?
Because that means that Parks and Rec does, probably will be meeting after the grant is opened.
Well, what other options do we have there?
If we uncover different information, we can always
Yeah.
do a,
Revisit it.
The committee of the whole,
or
or,
a
Yeah,
vote
We can have it earlier too.
yeah,
That's fine.
if
We can meet in August.
if something's uncovered that's urgent.
all right, all in favor? Any opposed? Carried. We have from the District of Port Hardy, 2025 Annual Municipal Report.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, sorry, did I miss something?
Yes, North
Oh,
Island
sorry,
Soccer
the-
Association.
Thank you, sir.
I just wrote it down.
I've got it written down here too, our late agenda item. So we have a recommendation that came forward from our committee, the earlier committee of the whole, to work with North Island Soccer Association to support the project and find alternative private property locations for the mini pitch application.
Mhm.
Moved by Councilor Pittsburgh, seconded by Councilor Dugas. Any comments? So I think those of you that weren't at the committee of the whole, it was just like councils in support of this, but we're a
Mhm.
little bit concerned about the cost and location. So working with the soccer association will
Mhm.
help us out.
Yeah.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Council Dugas. We have the District of Port Hardy 2025 Annual Municipal Report. CEO Nelson Smith,
Would you like me to give you the highlights?
I would, please.
So it was a very busy year. There's a couple of things I just wanted to note. We did complete the official community plan last year. We did the official grand opening of the KSM skateboard park, which was a huge project that took a really long time to finally come to fruition. We launched the new District Connection newsletter, which there's links to all of last year's newsletters in case anybody wants to catch up. We continued with the Coffee with the Mayor sessions, as well as we hosted a open house to showcase all of our municipal services. We increased our communication through social media and local publications, which also included the North Island Eagle. We had a monthly ad that went out every month showcasing everything that was going on. We also launched the eGov Citizen Portal for online tax and utility account payments and e-billing, which was a new thing. And we changed over our ERM, which is our financial software. And we launched the Q Alert to allow people to submit service requests. System. We had our third annual volunteer appreciation breakfast. And note that our next volunteer appreciation breakfast will happen in the new year of 2027 because we have an election this year. And so staff are not going to be able to probably pull that off. So we want to make sure we do it right. We continued, what did we do? We had a successful National Truth and Reconciliation event, which we supported as well through staffing, and we had continuing engagement with our local nations. And we also had our Twin City come and visit us from Newmata. Then we also had expanded Canada Day celebrations, which are just going to get even better for this year as well. We hosted the Van Isle 360. Of course, we've also had the Winter Wonderland and all of the other events that have happened. And for our fire department, we had 224 emergency responses, 29 active members, and 3,490 hours of training. And we did $4.8 million in building permits, which were 24 building permits issued for the District of Port Hardy. And what was the last thing I wanted to say was ultimately it was a very busy year, but our strategic plan was coming together and pretty well aligned. And we've done quite a bit to try to boost that out there in the ether, including the short little video clips that we did this year, which will also get showcased in our annual report for next year. And yeah, I don't think there's much else unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you.
Fantastic, and
very
they're
well done.
busy, yeah, nicely put together.
Council Dugas.
Yeah, oh, as always, that was excellent. I guess the question I had that, when you do the updates, what were you calling it?
District Connection.
Yeah, that's it. there's a lot of information in there, and I'm sure that must take a lot of staff time to put that together when you're putting it out every 2 months. Have you thought about maybe doing it once a quarter instead of every 2 months?
We could, however, I will tell you a little secret.
We are on camera.
Yeah. We actually use AI to generate our district connections, so the layout and the motif of it is done by staff, obviously. But the content that's in there is actually derived through an AI agent that we use in Copilot, which I've just strengthened a little bit further than what it was before, to be able to take all of those reports and actually create the content that goes in there. So it's from the content that we provide, and then we go out and then we add in a few little extra things. So our goal is to keep it to like the 6 to 8 hour maximum every 2 months for us to actually put that in there. And that's where AI is coming in and helping us do that.
Very handy.
I've heard other groups using Copilot. I have never used it. but-
Yes. And we just did, sorry, I'm gonna tangent on this one, but I've just learned about agents. Jillian probably already knows all about it, so it's still, maybe she doesn't, okay. I learned about these agents. You can actually train your AI to be like your basically like an extra employee. So you can actually, what I've done is created an agent that I took all of the old newsletters, I put them in there, I take the content, and then I tell it what I want it to provide us with. And then you can answer a bunch of questions. If anybody wants to know how to do it, I can walk you through one if you're ever wanting to use AI. But then basically all I have to do is drag and drop the stuff that goes on the council agenda, and then it disseminates all of that and creates it. I don't even have to prompt it. It's actually very cool. So we're actually looking at bringing in somebody to the North Island to do a lot more training in AI on how we can better utilize AI to help us get through some of the things that are regular day-to-day items that we could very easily have something else generate for us so that we can focus on the things that are more important. So if anybody's interested in taking any of that training, we're hoping to do that after the election.
And we did a workshop, just as an aside, down, not a workshop, a session down at ABICC talking about AI, and they did stress using Copilot way more. It's Canadian based and very secure.
Mhm. But we did talk about that too, when we came back about setting up district policies and how we're gonna use it and when it's used and.
And we do have a policy on how we use AI. So when we did our IT policy and council approved it last year, it has a whole section in there on AI. So we use only the paid versions of AI right now. So we're using ChatGPT and Copilot. ChatGPT and Copilot are now the same thing. And so, yeah, so basically that's what you're getting, but you've also got other agents that you could use through Copilot, like Claude and those kind of things. You pay extra for. Claude apparently is the Cadillac of AI. I haven't used it.
It's an add-in. I noticed that today. I thought, it's an add-in. So thank you very much. That was a great annual report, and your district connections are good too. And it's nice having the links in there. So motion to approve the 2025 annual municipal report, moved by Council Textmall, second by Council Tidbury. Any other comments? All in favor? Here. We have from the Honorable Minister Brenda Bailey, Minister of Finance, Province of BC, regarding the response to our request for provincial sales tax expansion for information.
No, I was just, no,
Tell us.
no, I was just asking about it. I would vote.
Charitable response.
And we have from Susan Weidman, North Island Music Fest, request to council for donation to 2026 North Island Music Festival silent auction.
I will probably defer to you.
Yes.
Our Director of Finance, do we have anything left in our grant and aid budget?
For Slag Club.
200, yeah, something like that for sure. Cause we had 471, we took 250 out at the last meeting.
But if this is the sun,
The Rotary comes every year as well, so.
Or the Rotary, the Rotary auction?
Yeah, they come forward every year too, so that's another one that we're gonna have come through. The reason I looked at this music fest one, and we didn't have it last year in our grant needs, and I couldn't see it the year before, but somebody felt that it was, so we're wondering if it was, swag or something different or something like that that went through.
I know that it was on the agenda last year, but I'm not sure if we approved anything.
It wasn't in my grant need, in the general ledger or in my spreadsheet for money that we actually.
Council Roberts.
So we have things like, you know, the banners that we put up downtown sometimes that may not be used again, that people may be interested in having or something.
Pretty faded by the time they started. Get replaced.
I'd be in favor of some swag. I mean, a lot of, yeah, I know we don't have any budget left, but, music festivals are being canceled all over the place. It'd be great to keep this one going in whichever way we can possible. Reason. That's a motion I made.
It's by Council George, second by Council Robertson. So donation of swag. All in favor? Carried.
We got lots of swag left. Okay, Debbie nodding her head, so that's a swag.
Would somebody bid on 300 pairs of socks? Or-
Like 600.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe 2 packages of 300.
Never run out.
They could be stuffed in cups
Yeah, and there you go.
or water, well, maybe water bottles.
Mhm.
Seen it stuff in the middle of the summer. Anyhow, we'll leave it to staff to figure that out.
Poor stuff.
So we have, poor staff. We have no committee reports. Staff report from the finance department, the check and EFT listing report, May 2026 for information. Any comments?
BC Hydro's too big.
We're not gonna talk about BC.
You want a new power line.
Yeah,
We've already paid for it, so.
Yeah. That's right.
moving on. Current bylaws and resolutions, none, no pending bylaws, council reports. Let's go with Councillor Robertson.
Perfect. Not much to report. There's the Heritage Conservation update on, was that, and that was just.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a week and a half ago.
And I was able to attend the first part of it and had a prior commitment after. It's a commitment. Yeah, but it was interesting. It was interesting in terms of what we can do and what we can't do and what's changing and things like that. And then just a quick meeting with about the ball fields.
Right.
And it's me.
So text ball.
Yeah, I've missed the last few council meetings just because of work, but some of the things that I've been to were the birthday party of Poor Hardy. We did at the Civic Center was great. I didn't get to report on that, but it was awesome. The staff did a great job with that and it was fun to be a part of. Lots of good food, which was probably my favorite part. But no, that was great. And then the Hardy Hustle was amazing. I think it was the biggest year for it and everyone did a great job. It was too hot, but other than that, it was fun. So you guys did a great job on that too, as well. And yeah, I apologize. I've just been extremely busy with work lately, so I've missed the last couple meetings, but made it happen tonight. That's it for me.
That's a doorway.
Yep, I attended the first street market of the year. It was brief, but I think I spent $100 in about 10 minutes. Supported it. Got some goods and some food. It was good. And I had a mocktail at the mocktail bar. It was very refreshing.
I forgot to take.
The district tent. And yeah, I attended in Campbell River, the BC Salmon Farmers Annual General Meeting. And I think I reported when I went last year, things seemed positive for the first time. Even though there's been no announcement, I feel like a big corner's been turned. One thing just in the positivity sort of thing is they hired a marketing firm to look at, how to improve their image and
Mhm.
And that's really, like they said, like some statistics went up 28,000%, like views and stuff like that, like these phenomenal positive engagements and stuff. And they also worked with an organization that I can't recall the name of at the moment, but that talks about food safety in Canada and the perception of people's acceptance of the safety of food. Anyway, so they've done some work there. But something else that they mentioned a couple of times that really got to me was we import salmon. Canada imports salmon in 2024, $700 million worth of salmon. And about a third of that was farmed. That's just crazy. And they want to shut this down. It is just beyond sensible. So everybody's hoping that, as Stuart Muir said, we'll get a stay of execution, which is just even ridiculous in itself, that to save this industry that's feeding us, could be feeding us a whole lot more anyway. Supposed to hear on soon whether that's gonna happen or not. Feels really positive, but we'll see what happens, so. Yeah. But left there feeling really positive, so there's nothing concrete yet, but
I did forget something that I should mention.
go ahead.
Thank you. I was also able to attend the first day of the 4 days of the opening of the big house with West Olympia.
Oh, right, yeah, should have mentioned that.
4-day event, and it was really a very big deal. And I think we'll see it pay dividends in the future. As I was walking there and saw lots of kids, and that was the day that the kids from the school danced. As adults and as they grow older, they will remember this day at that big house. And so it was actually pretty interesting and a privilege to be able to attend there. And I did hear some questions and discussion about when that announcement might actually happen, because it's a big deal for them as well.
Huge.
And the other thing that I forgot to mention was that I was also able to participate in the Loggers Golf Tournament over the weekend.
Me too.
So apologies, thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to add?
Yeah, my God, yeah, no, a couple of things, I guess I should have mentioned that, yeah, I was able to attend the big house and see how many different nations came from all over to basically showcase their culture and how they do it within the big house and be guests of GNN. It was just great, the smiles on everyone's faces, like just how proud everybody was, and what a beautiful building and the showcase for their culture on the North Island, just amazing. And then I guess everything's been Flomy Days, it's still going on, and yeah, it's never ending. But fundraising is going good for that. And there was one other thing I was gonna mention too. Yeah, the Loggers tournament was great, and how much that they generate for scholarships is actually amazing.
Remarkable.
Was it like $50,000 around there?
Yeah, it's, somebody mentioned it for me, I think John.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool that they put that on and pretty much give it all back, so.
It's a lot of volunteer work.
Definitely, yeah, a lot of fun, beautiful weather for everything, everything's been good, so. Thank you for that, sorry.
No hot dogs on the 6th.
It'll change next year. Counselor Tidbury.
I've done all that, but I'd like to just have a moment to reflect on the support that I've had from the council members here, from the staff, as well as all the people of Port Harley that have given me their support in my time of grief, and that's it. No more. So good job.
It's all good, John.
Our hearts are with you, John.
Counselor Dugas.
Yeah, so I had the pleasure of being at a meeting for what they call the Heritage Conservation Act. I had a chance to sit there and listen to what was it, 3 hours, 3.5 hours?
Or no, excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
We
well, you
were
kinda skipped out going
over
golfing.
3 hours and 15 minutes
Yeah,
to be exact.
but it was, you know, it actually was, I think it was a really good conversation with regards to how it all works and what they're trying to do to make it work, but there was obviously some highlights that I felt that was important that they talked about. And I'm sure that our staff and Heather probably knows about this more than I do, but they talked about how they can make improvements with regards to making it, so you go out and get a permit or whatever, to try to make it one shop stop. Instead of having, you had to get 3 different permits for do 3 different things or whatever, which I thought was a great idea. But they did mention there that it was a good idea to have commitments and all that collaboration and consent and that from your local indigenous nation, like our Qual youth. Like, this is their traditional territory, because it helps go through the process a lot faster. But I think that what I found out of that is that if we want to really make this thing work really well, is we have a heritage conservation management plan. And they talked about a number of different communities that have it already. And I looked it up online, and there are a few in the province, so you know, you could almost tap in on them to see how they managed to do that. But it talks about all of your heritage, it's not talking about just First Nation heritage. It's talking about if you have heritage buildings in your community, then you can follow a certain protocol and a policy. But I think for us, the things that have been holding us up more than anything is the ARC stuff with regards to our Indigenous culture and heritage and how we can make it work faster. And they did talk about working in conjunction with, in some cases, depending on the risk factor, whether it's, I look at it this way, that there's areas that are gonna be high risk. There's gonna be areas that are kind of in the middle, and there's gonna be areas that are low risk, pretty well. But then if you have that arrangement or that working relationship with the Qual youth, for example, in their traditional territory, they can come with you and make that, and work on that determination. Like, is this gonna be a high risk or not high risk? And if it isn't, well, then they talked about also having it written in there about using their guardian programs that they have in place. With regards to, so when you go to a site or whatever, then they have somebody, a representative from them to go with you to do the work or whatever. And I just, for one example, would be that we could, if this would have been in place way ahead of time, that stuff that happened down there at the information center to get that playground equipment, that would have been a slam dunk, get her done. And at the arena, that, you know, for what's going on there now, that should have been a slam dunk. I mean, it was pretty self-explanatory. And if in the event, if you have a guardian there, and if you were doing some digging and you did run into midden or whatever, well, you know what the policy would be, shut her down, get somebody in and make it happen. But why it has to take 2.5 years to get a permit to get something done, which seems ridiculous. They wanna make it, they wanna fix it, but I think there's definitely some ways and means to help short circuit the time frame. But I think that this heritage conservation management plan is from what I read out of it anyway, it seems like the way to go. But how do we get there, and and who's gonna do it? And that's the next question, but I think that would make it a lot faster and a lot better. And it's a partnership with the Qual youth, right? That's how it works. And I think it would help expedite a lot of this stuff moving forward. BC Salmon Farmers Association, AGM, like I said, like what Janet was saying, cautious optimism, basically. They were hoping to hear something within a couple weeks, but in talking to Andrew Nixon there at the Big House celebration, I sat with him and Diana Morrison, and he was basically saying, well, we were hoping to hear maybe by the end of this week, because that's when Parliament closes, right? The end of this week. But they don't know exactly, where it's gonna come from, but they were hoping maybe by the end of June, they might hear something. But if not, then I guess it's gonna be delayed again until later on in the fall, I guess, when they go back. But they seem to be pretty optimistic about that. They're going to be reading between the lines, an extension of time, because that's what basically we talked about before, when we had our meetings. If you want to do a plan of some sort or whatever, you need a lot of time to be able to do that. You just can't have a short period.
Figure out how to stay and make it work or to.
Yeah, well,
More time,
I think,
yeah.
that it was based on more on on science and technology improvements, right, with regards to what you're doing out there. I did see an interesting video the other day that around those different, like, those farms and stuff, they're using air bubblers now. Have you noticed that? They say, and they have air like coming up in bubbles around them. And it's simple, it helps keep different things away from the nets, yeah. It's kind of another way to try to,
Back shoes at time.
yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe to hire some humpbacks then. Yeah, Big House Celebration was incredible. I was able to go there on Monday, and then I was able to go there on Thursday when they were getting through their closing ceremonies, but yeah, the watching the kids dance on Monday, that was amazing. That was, and the costume, what they were wearing, like the blankets and the head and the carved pieces was incredible. Yeah. We weren't supposed to take pictures. I didn't be taking any pictures of that, but I did take some pictures and I did get caught.
Must have, no, you pay some money, pal.
It was just so beautiful. It was incredible. Yeah, Hardy Hustle was great. Yeah, it was fun to go down there and watch everybody running, and the weather couldn't have been better, except for what Brian says. I was just watching, so I wasn't running, so I did. It was hot, there's no doubt about that. And I did have an opportunity to go to the high school grad for the first part of it anyways, and that was really, really nice to see the kids and all the scholarships. It was, no, I can't remember what the number was, 68, or was it 60-something $1,000, I think it was given out at the high school this year. Incredible. The community support's amazing. And then, yeah, obviously it was great to see the kids up there and, finishing off their year. It's pretty cool. When you see kids that when they were little and all of a sudden you see them graduating, it's like it happened so fast, and it's pretty neat to see people that I grew up with and they got their grandkids there graduating. So it's pretty exciting. So anyways, that's all I have there. Thank you.
I've got 2 pages.
No, oh.
So before I start my update, I want to congratulate our CAO, Heather Nelson Smith, for being the recipient of a President's Award at the recent LGMA conference for her leadership, her mentorship, her governance, and her dedicated service to local government. So congratulations. So I attended some of the meetings, the Heritage Conservation virtual update, and that was interesting. And I think having a management plan might be, if we can tie it in with the act when it passes, and maybe it'll streamline things. The act hopefully will streamline it no matter what, but
Hope so.
hopefully. I was honored to be at the Port Hardy Senior Secondary graduation to award 2 of our local employees with grants, and as well to give a speech of congratulations. I really think that was one of the biggest high school graduations I've seen in a long time. There was a lot of kids there, and if they're there at the cap and gown, they actually are going to graduate. Because often there's not as many there, but there's more at the walking ceremony, which
Yeah.
is beautiful to go to and seeing the dresses and everybody, how cleaned up they are and how beautiful and handsome they look. But there were so many at that graduation, at the cap and gown. It was very impressive. And yeah, so went to the RD meeting with Councillor Tidbury, and I had no idea it was their 60th birthday as well of being incorporated. So Port Hardy, Port McNeill, and the RD all 60th, and so that was an interesting meeting. It went relatively smoothly, and one of the things that have come up, and in Quatsino, at the old Quatsino, they've been using a barge to offload, things, stuff for the community, but it's on private property and it looks like the, current new owners are not want it moved, so they're looking at putting another barge in, and the RD is gonna be helping them out with that, and so that was good. I was absolutely honored to go to the Guasala Naquata, opening of their new Guatsi. To witness everything that was going on, to witness the words on Monday about the history and how it came to be, and then also to witness the dancing, and then I was able to go to 3 days, not full days, but 3 days off and on, and it's very impressive, and I was really pleased to be able to go there when two of my grandchildren were dancing with the Wekino Nation. Actually,
Mhm.
three of my grandchildren were dancing with the Wekino Nation, so that was very impressive, but also it's the Wekino are a very small nation. And the turnout of the community members that are Wekino to dance and in the regalia was very impressive. And it's well watching the Quatsino First Nation dancing too. And when they were making their entrance and they're paddling in, and they were paddling in, and they were paddling in. And I was talking to some of their community members after, and they said they'd never had so many community members turn out for an event, and they were really, really pleased. And everyone that was there just seemed so happy and so honored to be there. And it was pretty amazing, not just seeing the building, but as well being part of the history of the Quatsi being open. I had to dash out at one point to go to the end-to-end relay where it was 9 bikers doing a relay of 1,000 kilometers over 2 days from Victoria to Port Hardy and return, and fundraising. And those funds are going to Vancouver Island and or Gulf Island families that are impacted with children having cancer, just to help out with everyday sundries like food and rest of it. Really happy to go to the evening street market. The weather was great. If we could have controlled the wind, then Danny that was doing the aerial would have done her full routine afterwards, but can you imagine 50-kilometer-an-hour winds and you trying to do an aerial performance? She was amazing, absolutely amazing, but so was everybody else that was there. Want to thank the District of Port Hardy for all the staff, all the volunteers, all the vendors, all the customers, everybody that helped it. It was magical down there. And yeah, so 2 more to go, and it's great. And again, I volunteered out at the Loggers Golf Tournament, and my husband said, "How many years have you been doing this?" So this was my 3rd year. I don't golf. I'm just saying, I don't golf, but such a good organization and what they're doing, not only giving out the grants to graduates from this, but as well as NIS, and hopefully never have to give out any financial help to widows or widowers of loggers,
Mhm.
which is what they started the grant for, is to get that. All right, I think that's it. Pretty well for me. Oh, one last thing, I went to BC Road Safety Strategy.
How'd that go?
I
That,
went to that too.
that was a little dry.
Dry.
I did. go.
It was dry.
Like
was
our roads right now.
Noticeably, we got a.
Yeah, but we'll see how that goes. So information and announcements. July 1st, the hall is closed. It's that holiday, but there's gonna be lots of activity down at the Carrot Park. And so please come on down. July 2nd, if you haven't paid your property tax or submitted for the homeowner grant, you better get that in pretty darn quick. Coffee with the mayor, then the regular council meeting, and again, just a reminder, in July, it's just one meeting a month, July and August, I'm meeting for the summer.
Do we have 2 in September? Are we gonna have 2 in
I
September?
think we only have one in September too.
Only 1 in September? Because of, UBCM?
UBCM wanted it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, sometimes that happens.
No notice of in-camera motion to adjourn.
Whoa.
Oh, that was.
I beat you. Take that. Take that, Dan.
Any
Took me
questions?
4 years to do that.
You did it.